Hello and welcome to your leadership reading. We are using the Voice of the Stones deck to find out what's your leadership style. So let's choose our 4 piles together. Feeling this one. Okay. At the bottom, creativity. So we have our 4 piles. And just take a minute to feel where you feel guided. So pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, or pile number 4. If you check the description below, you can find a time code. And you can jump right to your reading. Hello, pile number 1. So you chose pyramid. So today we're talking about your leadership style because I think it's important to understand who are we in the space of guidance? Who are we in the space of service? What is my definition of power? What is my definition of authority? And, who am I when I'm guiding others? And do I allow myself to bring my whole self into that space? So we're using the Voice of Stones deck by Linda Apple, and let's just take a look at, her reference to the pyramid. What I immediately feel is that there's a solid base here. There's a solid foundation. And with, these multiple triangles pointing up, there's a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge that is being focused to one point. And some of you, I feel like, may be just walking through this portal. You may not even be aware of this gift. So you may just be becoming aware of the fact that you're able to help others to connect to a stronger foundation, perhaps a stronger inner foundation, a connection to who they are. And also just to be able to gain and glean and channel wisdom to certain points and certain focuses that may help others or even help you to open up to new gifts, new talents, open up to wisdom. And so what may seem like a barren landscape to others, you bring a certain kind of light, a certain kind of nourishment to the space. So let's see what Linda Apple associated with the pyramid, but that is what I'm immediately sensing from the card that you chose. Okay. So pyramid, the keywords are intensity, focus, communication, knowledge, metaphysics. A simple definition of the pyramid says that it is a structure having a square base and triangular sides meeting in an apex. Science has only begun to discover the true powers and energy of the pyramid. Scientists, astrologers, archaeologists, and mathematicians are finding astrological pathways to the heavens, alignments with the 4 directions of our planets, healing powers, numbers connecting to the universe, and much more. Mysteries we have yet to uncover surround the pyramid and this card. It is one of the strongest metaphysical cards in the deck. Pyramids are the communicators of the astral, which is spirit, esoteric, which is mind, and metaphysical, which is body. The card signifies intense focus, a point of perspective, intensity in its strident level. If you were to catch a ray of light and direct it through a lens, you would be close to this intensity. Many new aspects of your life are about to be shown to you. In order for you to understand what and why this is happening, you must become focused. So when that wasn't the whole text, but just enough to kind of get an idea, but it's kind of supporting the intuitive feeling that was coming through, is that some of you are going to just be walking through this portal. But, if you chose this deck, then understand there's an incredible amount of wisdom and knowledge that you're able to focus to a point. And focus and concentration can be a struggle for many of us in this particular time of, digital expansion, social media, things like that. So having someone who has such a strong knowledge base, who's able to navigate different polarities of knowledge and bring it together to a point, to a focus, is incredibly valuable. So this may be something that you're developing and discovering more over, the next week, the next few months, and you may have already been discovering it over the period of your lifetime. When I read for people, I often find that they're already aware of their gifts. They're already, in the process of fulfilling their soul's intention for this lifetime. So before we pull tarot, let's find out more. Let's find out more about your leadership style. Let's go with these. Ooh. At the bottom, union of love. Concealed power, yes. So again, some of you probably don't realize that you're just coming through this portal. Give birth to the wonder of revelation. Slow down to relax. Break to enjoy the beauty without around you. Drunk with love. Let love lift you to freedom. So I'm sensing that some of you can feel your power. You can feel your own intensity, which was one of the key words really associated with the pyramid. You can feel your own intensity. Some of you may even struggle with a bit of a fear of success, even more than a fear of failure, or maybe even a concern that if you were to channel the power that you really feel within and just show it, that you wouldn't necessarily know what to do with it, or perhaps certain people around you might not feel comfortable with you being in the fullness of your power. And I feel like this is a message. A lot of you may be feeling that intensity. Some of you may already be living it, but there's a message here to slow down, to give yourself permission in the solitude to connect with this strong base and this strong foundation. Those of you who have been giving it away to others may find that you are now in a time when it's important for you to give that energy, give that knowledge and wisdom to yourself. And as you do that, you'll come out even more stronger. And it'll be like planting seeds of love so that, as you grow and as you allow yourself to connect to this leadership style, you'll be able to live it with love. Whereas if one keeps going and not taking the time to really give to the self, it can create even a sense of resentment or a feeling of being misunderstood, or people not really valuing who they are or what they're able to give. So I feel like part of this is, with leadership, with responsibility, with power comes a certain level of, responsibility, I guess you could say, to look after the self and to not just be in a position of service. So slow down so that you can enjoy all of the beauty, all of the love and light that is surrounding you. And as you do that, you'll be able to refuel and refill this pyramid. Let's get some support from Goddess energy. Ishtar. Ishtar is the multi-layered creator goddess, the source of all life and embodiment of the power of nature. She is the giver of plenty, a lawgiver, a judge, the goddess of time, as well as the goddess of both love and war. Her name means giver of light and derives from her role as queen of heaven. She is the planet Venus as both morning and evening star, and her girdle is the zodiacal belt. Ishtar descends to the underworld and restores the vegetation god Tammuz to life and thus restores fertility to the earth. As she descends, she removes a veil at each gate. While she is underground, all life on earth is depressed and nothing comes to life. Ishtar is a multifaceted, powerful symbol of fortnight mode, of being that is unafraid to venture into the depths of the underworld. She represents the creative feminine, active and strong. So a lot of you will be embodying a goddess energy, givers of light, because Ishtar is described as a giver of light, and look at the pyramid, just so full of light. And there's such a powerful message. And here we have the Queen of Heaven, she is the planet Venus as both the morning and evening star with the entire zodiacal belt around her waist. So this is a card of fertility. It's a card of love, drunk with love. So this is Venusian energy. So some of you may feel a deep and strong connection to the planet Venus. It may be interesting for you to check, where is Venus in your birth chart? What sign is it in? What house is it in? And to get more information of that, because you all are channeling Venusian energy. And in astrology, Venus is not just about love. Venus does have a lot to do with love, but one aspect of love has to do with deep connection to the self. And that's what Venus represents as ruler of Taurus, is a very deep connection to the self and a very deep connection to Mother Earth, just like Ishtar. So in this path of leadership, self-love is going to be absolutely important for you, absolutely pivotal for you. And to understand that your leadership thrives when you take care of yourself, when you give yourself permission to shine, but also permission to pull back, to rest, and to replenish. Now, Venus also rules Libra, and that is an energy of relationships, one-to-one interactions with others, with the purpose of, as I interact with others, I see myself more clearly. So with Venus ruling these two signs, one that has to do more with the self, with pleasure, with grounding, the other to do with others, pleasure with others, and learning about the self through others. Your leadership style is going to be one that where you're able to help and support and be such a strong foundation of wisdom and knowledge and support for others, but you can also be that for yourself. And it's important for you to give yourself permission to pull back and to use discernment in when you're using and sharing your gift. Because one thing that I often tell people is, just because you're strong doesn't mean that you're meant to always share your gift in every situation. That's usually actually what leads to burnout. So I encourage you to embrace your goddess energy and to speak, talk, dress, move. This is not gender specific. The divine feminine power is rising, which has a lot to do with, divine energy and taking action in our creativity and in our authenticity and living life, enjoying the beauty around us. And, as you move forward in this energy, just make sure you're also looking at yourself. But those of you who are just walking through this portal, there's going to be a necessity for you to acknowledge this gift, for you to acknowledge this ability. Third eye chakra, the waiting game. Just pulling some tarot, patience and planning, moving on. Okay. So I feel like there's an incredible gift that's opening up, incredible gift, and also a change in perspective. There's something new that's coming that you'll be able to see, but it may feel like you're in a bit of a circle, a bit of I see these circles here, but look here, something is growing. Something is growing. And as you change your perspective and as you allow this new perspective to grow, you're going to be able to move forward out of, look at the dry leaves here. The dry leaves moving into, life, moving away from the old and the lifeless into, new life. So, look at the bottom, spiritual union. So some of the spiritual union and this drunk with love is going to be with your guides, with your intuition, with your higher self, while others of you may be opening up to romantic partnership. And so there's a need and an opportunity to be patient and to trust to continue to connect to this power, to recognize and connect with this power. Give yourself the opportunity to replenish, because this is going to change soon. The energy is going to pick up momentum, and you want to make sure that you have, that you have the energy to move forward with the opportunities that are going to come to you. With the patience and planning, there's an opportunity, I feel, here to also be cognizant of any limiting beliefs. One moment. I feel like this is crooked. Okay. Okay. So I just had to fix that. It looked super crooked. So let's find out more about this patience and planning, because to me, I think there may be an opportunity for you to, in the time while this is growing, there's an opportunity for you to level up, to get clearer on your ability to bring light into the darkness, to bring wisdom, to bring focus. So you may be someone who's a good facilitator, someone who brings clarity to situations. You may be running workshops, running seminars, helping people get clear on what are the issues, what is it we want to focus on? How can we focus on solution finding and then commit to bringing that solution to life? Not just having the workshop and feeling good, but, even after the workshop, following the steps, the patience and planning laid out for that solution to come to life. So I feel like part of your gift has to do with teaching and running workshops, facilitation, bringing light and fertility to barren landscapes. So, a type of leader where perhaps, as a consultant or, in spaces where other communities have lost hope, other leaders have lost hope, you come in with the solution, you come in with the light. And you don't even have to bring the solution. You come in with the light in that darkness, and all of a sudden they're able to see the solution. But you bring the light with you. You bring the possibility, the potential, the openness. So I'm asking about the patience and planning. Okay. So I feel like with the patience and planning, it's letting go of limiting beliefs and deepening your connection and just realization that you have this gift. And then allowing yourself to move forward, to continue to move forward, move on out of any type of narrative that has to do with loss, things not working out, or, any situations with old communities, friends, family, old jobs that had you feeling like there wasn't much that you can offer, and start showing yourself the loyalty that you deserve. It's time for you to be your best friend in the way that you deserve. So just a quick question, what you can release that will help you to step into this leadership style of bringing light. Let go of regret. I know that I cannot change the past. Health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. At the bottom, indecision. So what can really help you is to release regret. You know, there may be situations as this light bringer. I'm just going to start calling you light bringer. There may have been situations. I feel like there were situations in the past where you wanted to bring the light. And in that space where you were bringing the light, your seeds couldn't necessarily grow. You know, it's kind of like Jesus said, you know, um, often where we grew up, we're not able to be as effective because people still see us as our old selves as opposed to who we've blossomed into. So there may have been situations in the past where things didn't quite work out, or where you tried to bring the knowledge, bring the wisdom, bring the love, bring the transformation, and there was dry ground there. And so now you're taking your seed to those places that will allow it to grow. And just understand that in the time that you've experienced that, you were learning, you were growing, you were gaining emotional intelligence. So none of it was for nothing. It gave you an opportunity to really grow. And with the health, I feel like after everything you've been through, there may be some residual emotional turmoil that's left over, where you can give yourself permission to restore your physical body, to restore your emotional body, your mental body, just to rest and to reconnect in your heart with the truth of who you are, which is a light bringer. And there may have been situations in the past where you had to make difficult decisions, perhaps let go of something, someone that did not feel good to you, but it's time to rest and replenish so that when it's time for you to step into this new leadership opportunity, you're ready. So your leadership style is the light bringer. You bring light to the darkness. You bring focus into spaces where, you know, there may be a feeling of chaos. You bring the knowledge and you bring the wisdom. So let's just pull one last card for support. So play, laugh, and find joy. You will find what you need in the wisdom of your heritage. Wow, okay. So again, what you've been through is not for nothing. And in fact, many of you may be breaking generational patterns within your family and establishing new positive habits, new ways of being, just in the decision to stop certain cycles. And it's time for you to play, laugh, and find joy, for you to be proud of yourself, proud of how far you've come, and to allow that joy to just infuse your heart and infuse your energy. Thank you, pile number one, for allowing me to read for you. I feel so honored. If you really like this reading, then please make sure to like and to subscribe and to recommend it to a friend who may also appreciate some, you know, courage, some love, some guidance. And I look forward to being able to read for you in another reading. Much love. Hello, pile number two. Welcome to your reading on leadership. Let's take a look at the card that you chose. Ooh, imagination. So we're looking at your leadership style. Wow. And immediately when I just look and just feel the energy of the card, I feel joy. I feel joy, laughter, like this is going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of creativity here, but it's almost like a pot boiling. You know, there's a lot of action. There's something new that wants to be created. So let's take a look at, you know, the original intention for this card to understand. We are using The Voice of the Stones, Journey of the Ancients by Linda Apple. So we have keywords: simplicity, dreams, travel, spirit messages, and fulfillment. A brown stone named Samantha lived in the desert with a large family of boulders. Except for a few old animal bones and some scrub trees, there was not much to look at. But Samantha seemed to be able to find pleasure and beauty in everything. A lizard or a slithering snake would stop occasionally to enjoy a bit of cool shade, and they would tell her about their daily adventures. When night came, she would have vivid dreams that took her many places. This gave Samantha so much joy that she wanted to travel beyond the desert and live in her wonderful dreams. The rest of the family would have told her that this was not possible. Nothing exists beyond the sea of sand. To them, life was only hot days and cold nights. They did not understand how Samantha could imagine such things, so they called her a dreamer. One night, while the family was sleeping, Samantha was startled by a golden sphere of light. She wanted to wake the others, but she knew they would only say she was dreaming. "Who are you?" she asked the light. The light said, "I am the joy of your inner spirit. Trust in me and you will journey far." The bright sphere then proceeded to tell her about beautiful green valleys, high mountain peaks, and the powerful ocean. "I have dreamt of those places," said Samantha. "Do they really exist or are they only in my dreams?" "Only you can answer that question," said the sphere. "Follow me and I will be your guide." The sun was bright and hot by the time the family came out of their deep sleep. They searched for Samantha, but she was not in her usual place. Nothing was left except a deep groove in the sand. Wow, what a story of imagination, of dreaming. So, follow the sphere. The sphere will be your guide. So, some of you are dreamers. You're able to see the opportunity where others have given up. You're the type of leader who can see the solution, although everyone else says it's impossible. I don't know if you know the story of Ford, who was building a motor that hadn't been built before, and the engineers kept saying it can't be done, it can't be done. And he kept pushing and pushing until the thing that couldn't be done was done. That's the type of leader you are. Someone who, even when others doubt, you're sure that even though it's never been done before, it can be done. So you may have prominent placements in Aquarius, prominent placements in the 11th house, or prominent Uranus placements, someone who's able to bring the innovation. And innovation is not necessarily a gift that everyone has because it does require a certain level of imagination. And so you're that leader that's able to bring that type of just incredible amount of resourcefulness, incredible ideas, warmth, creativity, opportunities that make the impossible possible. You're that healer that says, take up your bed and walk. We can do this. Some of you may have prominent 12th house Pisces, Neptune energy and placements. Let's find out more about this gift. Look at it upside down. Ending a trauma. Transform memories and symptoms. Ending a trauma. So this is the end of a cycle. End of a tough cycle. It's time to play. Make time to dance and to play. Fine wine. Longing is the portal to wholeness. Work of art. Be the portrait of divine beauty. Okay. So there's a clear message here. You're a powerful creator. Okay. With this imagination, you are an incredible manifester, master manifester, King Midas energy. Everything you touch turns to gold. It's just that you've had a difficult cycle. Maybe the last months, the last year, the last 18 months, something has been difficult, feeling sucked into something and not being sure whether or not you can get out of it, not being sure whether or not you can restore yourself from such a difficult time, a difficult experience. And now that cycle has ended. That cycle has ended and is over, and you're allowed to release it and to let it go. You've done your due diligence. You've done the difficult work. What seemed impossible, you achieved. You let go of this difficult period, and now you're moving into something new. I just see here that there may be some pain that's still present. And the message is here that the pain that you feel, the longing, let it inform what it is that you now want to create. So if you're longing for something and you feel that it's not there, then stop and ask yourself, what is it that I'm longing for? Why am I longing for it? Or even if there's a bit of an experience of envy, of seeing others experience something you want to experience, envy is just information. So just asking yourself, what is it about what they're experiencing that I want to experience? What is it, what is this emotion, this feeling wanting to teach me, to show me about myself, about my desires? Aries energy is all about desires. We begin the zodiac with desire. So what is it that you want to experience? Because it's time to play. It's time to allow magic and imagination to flow. Look at the imagination, look at the light. We're coming out of this gray and into these bright, colors and flow. And in order, with you being as powerful as you are, staying in an energy of longing or staying in an energy of being cognizant of what isn't there or being afraid that it will never come will actually create that thing not coming. So for you, with your powerful imagination, you may be someone who thinks 10 times about what would have happened if you have said something differently. Or if this situation were ever to happen to you, this is how you would react. And when you're in your imagination, in your mind experiencing these things, you may accidentally call that energy into life, because everything is energy, impetus, and movement. And you, my love, are a work of art. Okay? You're a kingdom within itself. You've got your imagination, your ability to create. Look how the sun is shining on her womb. So the question is, what is it you want to experience? And then to allow yourself to be that already. Be the portrait of divine beauty. So when you are already the portrait of divine beauty, because your life, your universal life force energy, you are divine and you are the portrait of divine beauty. The question is, are your thoughts, is your energy in that space? Are you cognizant of your leadership style that has to do with innovation, pioneering, visionary, creativity, and using that to create the life and the experience that you want to live? So if you're even eager to be in a leadership position and you're not there yet, this is something, your imagination is something you can use to move into that space. So instead of focusing on, this is what I would say in this situation, you can use your imagination to see yourself already as that leader, whether it be in the corporate space or as a high priestess in, this card just fell out, in a spiritual leadership. Artemis, the archaic mistress of animals, probably dates back to Paleolithic times. Her realm is the wilderness, and her concern extends to all wild, untamed things. She presides over the hunt and is the goddess of hunters. Fiercely individualistic and independent, she remains apart from relationship to men. Despite her fierceness, she is addressed as a healing and soothing goddess, protector of births. She alleviates the suffering of women in childbirth. She is also responsible for the initiation of young girls. Artemis is a wonderful symbol of female independence. She reminds us of the value of solitude and the importance of wild, unprotected places. She shows us those frightening places that bring healing even through fear. I love this consistent use of the word wild, untamed in this description. You're a work of art. You're very different. And, it talks about how Artemis alleviates the suffering of women in childbirth. And here we have this woman with light shining on her womb. And it makes me think that some of you in the leadership space will be people who help birth new opportunities, new projects, and just alleviating the pain that can go with bringing something new into life. So some of you may also be coaches who are helping women to, or women, men, individuals, non-binary, just helping individuals to birth what it is that's important to them. And with imagination, I think in general, you help people bring things to life. What seems like it may be over and impossible is suddenly, resurrected or, birthed. So that is a part of your leadership style, is awakening, resurrection, birth, taking something that seemed over and lost and showing that the adventure has only just begun. Memories of love reminds me of ending in trauma. This is 6 of Cups. Foundation and achievements. So building something new, moving out of the past and building something new. And even, we don't have to fully erase the past if we don't want to, but making sure that when we go back, that we're seeing the light in what we experienced. Authority, leadership. At the bottom, the Hanged Man with sacrifice. Okay. Solar plexus. Yeah. So this is about being confident in your ability, confident in your authority, will, determination. And that's one of the key factors when it comes to, being able to transform something that a lot of people thought was over. Suffering in silence. Crown chakra. Yeah, so with this ending a trauma and with this longing fine wine, some of you are coaches, therapists, people who help people move from one space to another. Scorpio energy, coming from the energy of the scorpion, transforming like the phoenix into the eagle. I'm wondering though, there may be some suffering, some difficulty, or, maybe a decision made in the past that's still causing some sadness, and it may be blocking your crown chakra a bit from receiving some of the wisdom that can really help you to unlock this gift. So what can we let go of to really unlock this gift of imagination? Because, with the Emperor here, you're an authority figure. You have the ability to lay the necessary foundations. With imaginations, there may be a lot of Pisces, Neptune energy. So there may be a necessity to ground, to connect to water, but also to earth. What can we release to really activate this imagination energy? Purpose. I know what I am here to do. Acceptance. I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. At the bottom, relationships. So perhaps some of you have had some difficult experience in relationships. And some of those difficult experiences may have been opportunities to come out of something that wasn't for your highest, greatest good, and to start focusing on your purpose, start moving forward and investing in yourself and who you are. And some of you, with this being a general reading, are coming into more acceptance that your life purpose has to do with leadership. And perhaps, there have been situations where you've kept yourself small, where you might not have felt ready or felt good enough, or perhaps, some of you may be even being promoted within your team, maybe feeling like, I'm not good enough, or what if they don't accept my leadership, accept my authority, or people think I've changed, I've become, different. I was told that, before too, like you think you're better just because I live in Europe. And nothing is farther from my mind. I had to learn a new language. It was just a different kind of struggle, but I learned from it. I grew from it, but that wasn't the perception of those who felt that I had left. And so, you have this leadership gift, you have this leadership ability, and it's time to let go of any making yourself small, any kind of regret, and just allow, that divine guidance to come through so that you can really step into the authority that you naturally possess. Start building new foundations. Let's find out more about your gift. Independence. Good luck. So I feel like some of you with this independence here, you may have had to leave a relationship. But I feel like if you've had to let go of something that wasn't positively serving you, there's good news here. Or maybe some of you are like me, where you left your full-time tenure position that was super duper secure to start your own business. You're doing something independently, doing something on your own. You're following your life purpose, and no, it's meant to work out. At the bottom of the deck, action. Move forward, take action. This is meant to work out. You're meant to be that leader. Yes, this came out in deck 1. If you want to check pile 1, resoluteness, as well as this, loyalty. Okay. So be resolute. I feel like this loyalty in the case of pile 2 really has to do with hold the vision. Hold the vision and move forwards. Hold the vision of your purpose and continue to move forward. Accept the purpose, accept your purpose, accept the things that you cannot change. Perhaps, having this type of leadership style is also not always the easiest, but at the bottom of the deck, creativity. You can choose your reality. You create your reality. You are a powerful master manifester. So you can do this, but keep your powerful mind focused on the outcome you actually want. Start living life from the perspective of your future self. How would your future self react? What is the first thing your future self would do at the end of this reading? Perhaps your future self would do something to celebrate who you are. Your future self would pat yourself on the back and say, well done. So what is our next step? Let's move forward step by step. So start moving and taking action based on, what your future self, who is in the acceptance of, your power, and make decisions like a boss. So one last encouraging message. Do not fear or doubt the new paths ahead. Look at that. Acceptance, purpose, foundation, and achievements. Good luck. This is meant to work out. So you can release the fear. This trauma is ended. It's time to bring more light and more play so that you can birth what it is that you're meant to birth. You have the goddess Artemis here. Artemis was the owl, which is, the owl is wisdom. Tomorrow brings the illumination of your hopes. And I think that's interesting that it's on top of loyalty, because again, I feel like there's a message here of hold your vision, hold your vision. So your leadership style, my love, is having the Midas touch, being able to focus your thoughts and focus your energy to, create what it is that you want to experience, or allow that to crystallize. So in using your leadership style in your own life, all you need to do is continue to move forward step by step and support your step-by-step actions by having the thoughts and the vocabulary that are consistent with the energy of what it is you want to bring in. So that is one way you can move forward. I'm sending so much love. If you like this reading, please make sure to like and to subscribe and to recommend it to someone who you feel may need daily, regular motivation, support, encouragement, and love. And I hope to have the honor of reading for you again very soon. Much love. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading on your leadership style. We are looking at the voice of the stones to see, what inspiration we get for your leadership style. So let's take a look. I already enjoyed piles 1 and 2. Look at you, the swan. So immediately what I sense is transformation. There's some gift of transformation here, because the first thing I thought about was the ugly duckling, the story of the ugly duckling, taking, just moving through a process. Also, just maybe something being perceived as not beautiful and eventually, blossoming into something new. So as a leadership style, one of your gifts is going to be transformational processes, alchemy, taking base metals and turning them into gold. That's one of the immediate feelings that I'm getting. And there's also with the sun here, just a kind of warmth. And I feel like with this process of transformation, there may even be, I feel like this, I don't know, for some reason it's blurry. So I'm gonna no, there we go. So there may even be, with this portal here, helping people walk through the door that they need to walk through in order to experience their own transformational process. Now let's take a look at The Voice of Stones by Linda Apple and see, what perspective she brings to the swan energy. But again, I'm already sensing a feeling of transformation. And, I'm looking at the reflections in the mirror and how different the reflection is from the actual being. And so I'm wondering if part of your gift is helping people see themselves more truly, because sometimes it can be so blurry, and sometimes things can look more bleak and a little more messy than they actually are. And so you come in with your clarity, with your purity, and help people to see themselves more clearly, to let go of the illusion. Okay, so let's take a look. Swan. So the keywords are growth, change, fear, acceptance, strength, and confidence. Get off your chair and find some sunshine. You are very connected to the sun and would thrive in a warm climate. If you feel weak or tired, get out in the sun for a while and those aches and pains will soon fly away. The swan mates for life, and that life may go to 70 or 80 years of age. This indicates that you may be one of those who seek or long for the elusive soulmate, the one that could be your partner for life. In this day and age, many would call that old-fashioned or impossible, but you remain steadfast in your belief. You know that somewhere, somehow, you will meet. You have great strength in your convictions and cannot be swayed easily. The Swan card speaks of experiencing many stages of growth and change. Most of us know the story about the ugly duckling, exactly, the small duckling that grew into a beautiful swan. In learning how to accept ourselves through our many stages of change, we are able to develop strength, confidence, and adaptability. You might say you have an explorer instinct and find it exciting, whether externally or internally, to go where you have never been before. Try out a new idea or learning about different cultures and places that are all a part of exploring. Know that even though you prefer a roadmap on your journey, you'll do just fine without one. Okay, so again, this warmth. I feel like there's an energy of warmth, and also swans are known to be monogamous. So there's an energy of loyalty here. And also, again, just coming back to this energy of growth, of change, transformation. Let's find out more about your leadership style. At the bottom, fine wine. Longing is the portal to wholeness. Time to play. This came out in deck number 2. Union of love. Look at that with the 2 swans and union of love. Slow down to relax. You know. Okay, so with the fine wine at the bottom and the longing, I feel like, again, there's a transformational alchemical process here. And, some people may be looking into the water and their reflection and water is a symbol for emotion. It's a symbol for emotion. So people may be looking into the water, feeling emotional, feeling like I'm not this, I'm not good enough, I'm not ready. And I feel like with your leadership style, with your sense of loyalty and your understanding of what is possible, you're helping people to see themselves more clearly. And often where we find ourselves growing and we find ourselves leading is something that we're learning ourselves. So you may be learning to see yourself in a more magical light. And as you do that, you'll be able to bring in more partnerships that are based on love. And here it says, embrace the beloved within your heart. So, as you see life as more magical, you can embrace the love within yourself as well as allowing more partnership, whether that's romantic partnership, business partnership, or your soul family. So let's slow down to relax, break to enjoy the beauty around you. So this was also in another pile. So I feel like here in this transformational process, it's important to make sure we plant the seed in the energy that we want to experience. And that energy will grow, but it's also important to give ourselves opportunity to ground and to connect to nature, to come back to nature. So part of what your gift may be is helping people, again, connect with this magic, to see themselves more clearly, but also to slow down and to ground. And it's also one of the things that is being offered to you here as well. And as you slow down, you can really begin to see, and I'm feeling specifically the power that is within you, and allow that to rise and to increase your self-confidence. So there may be a need to kind of relax and slow down so that you can connect to the self-confidence that will allow your throat chakra to open and for you to speak, for you to release worry, to release overthinking. All of these things, which, believe it or not, are connected to the throat chakra. This is the first time that I've chosen 2 cards. At the bottom, Hathor. So one of my favorite, Sedna. The one down there, a beautiful Eskimo woman who lived with her father. None of the local suitors appealed to her, and she refused to marry until a fulmar, a type of bird from across the sea, that's so interesting that we have a bird here, promised to take her to his home of luxury. When she found she had been deceived and was ill-treated, she begged her father to take her home. As the two were crossing the water, a flock of fulmars caused a huge storm to arise. To save his own life, Sedna's father threw her into the ocean. As she clung to the boat, he severed her fingers, which turned into whales, seals, and all the mammals of the sea. Sedna descended into Adlivum, the Eskimo underworld, where she now rules. To ensure that she will continue to send food to hunters, shamans descend to visit her, comb her hair, and massage her hands. Sedna is a reminder of the nourishing gifts that are to be found in the deep, dark, cold places that we most fear. So this is interesting because we have the 2 swans here with partnership, and here we have Sedna, who, was deceptively taken away. And then when she asked to be rescued by her father, she was also deceived. So I'm wondering if there's experiences with toxic masculine energy or situations where there, you desired help and support and it wasn't given to you. And now I feel like this narrative is changing. This narrative is changing. And so with this reading being more specifically about your leadership style, I feel like something, when Sedna's fingers were severed, the fingers turned into whales, seals, different marine animals from which the Eskimo people live, So I feel like whatever you experienced in the space of perhaps unhealthy masculine energy, toxic masculine energy, is informing this very specific leadership style that has to do with transformation. It has to do with alchemy, turning base metals into gold. So what you experienced, it helps you to be stronger, to be wiser, and to inform the teaching, the coaching, the leadership, the guidance, whatever it is that you do in this particular space of authority. And now it's time to play, to release kind of the sadness and darkness of any past happenings, and to understand that there's a new opportunity of how you experience not only love, but also masculine energy, moving from any kind of toxic masculine into the true divine masculine. We have here Hina, the second goddess. Hina is said by some to be the greatest of the Polynesian goddesses. In certain tellings, she is the original creator of the world, the goddesses and gods and human beings. One story tells of her love affair with an eel who is unalived, and she buries his head, and several days later, the first coconut tree springs from the grave. Hina is perhaps best known as the woman who lives in the moon. There she creates beautiful tapa cloth from the bark of the mulberry tree, which she sees as clouds surrounding the moon. Hina represents the part of ourselves that creatively brings forth nourishment, even in the midst of what appears to be death and decay. So I just want to just remind you, this reading is only about your leadership style. So please don't worry that this is some kind of foretelling or anything like that. This has to do with, if you look at both stories, both have to do with taking something that everyone thought was no more, planting it as a seed, and new things growing from it. That is the definition of alchemy. That is the definition of transformation. That is Scorpio-like energy, being able to take something where everyone perceives loss and to turn it into something that is incredibly fertile and nourishing. So that is a part of your leadership ability, is helping people. I don't know if you do coaching work, therapy work, if you're a leader in a corporation, if you have your own self-employment, your own business, but your leadership gift has to do with your ability to help people to take what they thought could never grow again and to turn it into something beautiful. And that kind of reminds me of either pile 1 or pile 2. I think pile 1 had a similar message. If you felt called to one of the previous piles, it may be beneficial to take a look at that pile as well, because this is incredible transformation energy. I mean, look at Hina, the greatest of the Polynesian goddesses, able to, bury the head of the eel to produce coconut trees. So if you've experienced loss in the past, just know that allow for more growth in emotional intelligence that you can put into what it is that you do today. Choose wisely, wisdom, at the bottom, recognition and reward. So I hope you're proud of yourself and proud, of the choices that you've made. Now it's time to play and to relax. You've made the choices that have brought you out of this and into something new where you're able to help others to transform. Authority, this came out also in another deck. Truth, I think this came out in pile 2. So when we talk about, sometimes when we talk about having experienced toxic masculinity, we sometimes need to review our definitions of power and authority so that we can feel more comfortable stepping into our own positions of power and authority. So with here, the Emperor, because this is Tarot, this is the Emperor, it could be necessary or even beneficial for you to think about, what is my definition of power? What is my definition of authority? Am I experiencing any kind of imposter syndrome? Am I aware of my ability, to support myself, support others through transformation, to take what they experienced and to help them to choose to find the gift in the challenge and to transform that gift in the challenge into deeper wisdom. So with wisdom and truth here, some of you are going to have really strong Sagittarius and Gemini energy. And this is a card of awakening, this is a card of resurrection. So I feel like, you have the ability to help people find the gift in the challenge and then to bring that wisdom into your leadership position and to teach it to others, to share that truth, share that ability with others. Let's find out what you can release in order to make space for this gift. Because as you will probably know, with being a force for transformation, when we release, we make space for the new. I accept responsibility for my well-being. Doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. I am the same as everybody else, but with different challenges. Look at the bottom. Success. So sometimes when we're going through different things, it can be difficult for us to come out of an energy of doubt. And sometimes we can feel that others around us might have it more easily. But all of this is just information. It's important not to associate yourself with this energy, because we are not our feelings. We are not our thoughts. We are not our emotions. All of these things are just information and teaching us about ourselves and helping us to get clearer on who we are and what it is that we need. So it's time to come into an energy of play and to release all self-doubt. And if you do find yourself feeling envious or feeling like something wasn't fair, then it's important to listen, to stop and listen and help yourself understand, what am I feeling and sensing right now? And then to release it. It's not about suppressing or repressing. It's about giving yourself the opportunity to understand what it is that you're wanting to communicate to yourself, and then to release that energy. Forgiveness. And forgiveness is of others, but it's also of the self. Forgiveness says, I don't want to carry these bags anymore. I give myself permission to be light as air, to dance, to play, to be free, to no longer blame myself for not being able to save others, for not being able to help those who I thought needed my help, or for those who I felt responsible for. And instead, to come out of an energy of self-doubt, come out of feeling like certain things can't happen for me. They may be able to happen for others, but they can't happen for me, to come out of this energy. And that's what forgiveness says. And the deer is an energy about being gentle with yourself. The deer says, be gentle, be loving to yourself. This came out in all 3 piles thus far, showing yourself more loyalty. I always, I feel like there's a different meaning depending on the combinations that come up. And, with the dog here, I feel like it's time for you to show more loyalty to yourself, family. So allow that soul family to come in that's going to support you. If you have a strong, supportive birth family, it could be allowing yourself to be supported in that space, and, also allowing your soul family to come through. And sometimes we don't always know the outcome of what it is that we're, wanting to manifest or wanting to move towards. But it's important for us to embrace the mystery. Bottom of the deck action. Embrace the mystery. Let go of any worrying. Some of you may have experienced different disappointments in the space of community. And now it's time to release any energy of doubt, any energy of disappointment, any blame, any envy, and understand everything is information teaching us about how to find the gift in the challenge. So your leadership style, my love, has to do with alchemy and transformation. You have the ability to help people learn to forgive, to stand in their loyalty to their dreams, loyalty to themselves, to help them find their soul family. And I feel like when we find our soul family, then it has to do with stepping more into our authenticity. And so as people transform and become, more deeply connected to their authenticity, they can manifest their soul family. And, as we're transforming and going through alchemical processes, it can be upsetting, it can be cause a bit of turmoil, but the mystery is a part of it. Okay, beautiful soul. Listen to the divine whispers stirring in your heart. So part of the way through this mysterious darkness, and it might not even be darkness in any kind of negative sense, but just this bit of a fog, unable to see where everything is leading. One way through this is to listen to your heart. Learn from friendships old and new. Yeah. So some of you experience disappointment in friendships and family spaces, and you're choosing to find the gift in those experiences, transform it into wisdom, take that wisdom gained, feed it into your position of authority, and teach it as truth and wisdom to others. So know that anything that you experience wasn't for nothing. And the moon also goes through cycles. The new moon is completely in darkness, completely shrouded in darkness. And then slowly light is reflected onto the moon. And, then we can begin to see. And sometimes our paths are the exact same thing. We feel like they're shrouded in darkness, and then slowly there's light, and slowly, there's clarity. But what's important is not to freak out when we can't necessarily see everything, and just to understand it's a part of the journey. It's a part of the process of the cycle. It's a part of the excitement, you know? So new love wants to come into your life. But what's going to be important in order for this new kind of love to come through is for you to allow it and to embrace your gift, to embrace this leadership style. So thank you, pile number 3, for allowing me to read for you. If you like this reading, then please give me a thumbs up, and also subscribe, and perhaps recommend it to someone who can also use a bit of encouragement, some love, some uplifting. Thank you so much, and I hope to be able to read for you again soon. Hello, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading on your leadership style. Let's take a look. Staff. Wow. It's almost like a wand here with a bit of a diamond or, crystals here. And a staff for me is a traditional symbol for leadership. And as I feel into this card, I feel like some of you are, wise, kind of like Gandalf, you know, the person who's there seeing the connections, seeing what resources are needed, who needs to be a part of this project, who can do what, knowing what people can do, even though they might not know it. For example, in The Hobbit with Bilbo, who didn't consider himself to be an adventurer, but Gandalf saw something in him that he didn't see in himself. This is kind of the energy that I'm feeling here. Very incredibly resourceful, incredibly wise, seeing gifts in others that they might not see in themselves, and just, helping people to come together in a way that could be unexpected for them in order to achieve a certain goal. And when you think of just sticking with this metaphor, when you think of Lord of the Rings, when you think of Hobbit, that was super messy. It was super messy, but in the end, they achieved the goal and they all grew and they all, came into wealth, into prosperity, authority, opportunities that they had never, and more than anything, friendship, really deep love and deep friendship. So I feel like there's also a certain level of courage here that has to be acknowledged, because I feel like Gandalf was also, whether you're familiar with the Lord of the Rings or not, I'm not sure. But, with Gandalf being this wise old wizard, kind of Merlin-like energy, he brought together the people who were necessary for this journey. And part of his gift was courage to do it, even though it was messy, courage to do it, even though he had no plan, no blooming clue on how to achieve what he wanted to achieve. He just started to put the different pieces into motion. Didn't wait until everything was figured out. Didn't wait till there was a strategy from beginning to end. Gandalf was like, time is of the essence, and we have things to do, and we can't always choose what's put in front of us. Sometimes we just got to work with it. So I feel like you're someone who's incredibly resourceful and can see the gifts in others, can see how different mechanics can work together. And, either you're not afraid to do it and do it messy. Oh, wow. I opened up right to that page in the book. Or it could be that you're learning that it doesn't have to be perfect for you to start. And yesterday I did a TikTok video where I said, I had a dream, and a voice, as I was waking up, a voice said, uh, just because you make it perfect doesn't mean more people will watch it or more people will, engage with it. And that was so interesting because I, was waiting for the perfect social media strategy. How do I do this? What do I say? Blah, blah, blah. And perfection does not guarantee popularity. And perfection also does not guarantee success. And I feel like that's something that Gandalf, this wise old wizard, understood. He didn't wait till it was perfect. He just moved forward. And while moving forward, he trusted in the people that he placed in the project to do what they needed to do. He wasn't micromanaging. They're making every decision. Asking Frodo why he chose to do it that way, or Aragorn why he chose to do it that way. There was just, listen, this is who I trust. This is who I know can do the job. And then he let them do the job. So if you're a micromanager, we can all be honest with ourselves, then know that because you have a gift for seeing and for sensing the gifts in others, you can also trust in them to use their gifts and to bring their wisdom into what it is that's also being built. So let's take a look at, we're looking at The Voice of the Stones, Journey of the Ancients by Linda Apple. And I'm just going to read a short bit. Take a break from your everyday routine and go for a walk. Pretend you are a tree and plant your feet firmly on the ground. Let the sun's energy move through your body and imagine you are sending that energy into the earth. Experience the connection between your energy and the earth. Know that by taking hold of the staff of life, you can heal. So I hear something about an energy of healing also being intended in this card. So let's find out more. And I love that I'm wearing green to match that. There's some green here to match that energy of healing. Silencing the mind at the bottom of the deck. It's interesting that I chose silencing the mind and only chose 2 cards because the other piles had 3. And I wonder if there's less information needed. This came out in, I think, almost every deck. Longing is the fine wine. Longing is the portal to wholeness, balanced life. Love seeks your well-being. So I feel like this reading is going to have to do with grounding and understanding that part of your leadership style has to do with grounding, connection to Mother Earth. I mean, look at all these crystals. Look how the wand or the staff is pointed towards the ground. So I feel like part of your energy and gift is going to have to do with that. And in order to unlock this gift, it would probably be beneficial for you to connect more with earth energy, be it through crystals, taking walks, allowing that sunlight, just like in the description, to flow through you, through your feet, seeing that light from the universe flow completely through you, then into the earth, connecting you to the universe as well as earth energy. Okay, let's see. Oh, 2 cards. Okay. Look how they both have a similar color concept. This one more in the green space, these more in the blue space. I feel like it's like earth and water. Let's move the staff here. It's funny that there are 2 cards here. Demeter. Here we go. Demeter is a goddess that has to do with earth energy. So I really feel like this has to do with grounding, but let's find out more about her. Demeter is an ancient Greek great mother goddess, a goddess of life and death. The Greeks emphasized her role as goddess of the cultivated earth, the giver of fruitfulness and abundance, and provider of the gift of agriculture. She and her daughter Persephone, called by the Greeks the goddesses, together represent the continuous cycle of life and death, the 2 phases of the vegetative power of the earth. Demeter is remembered primarily for her great love of her daughter. When Persephone was abducted by Hades, Demeter's grief caused the world to go barren. Here we see Demeter ready to give birth to produce life. Demeter offers a blessing of fruitfulness and possibility of coming joy, of abundant life and hope. So this is a card of fertility. She was ready to give birth to Persephone. And it's interesting because that, talking about Demeter as a symbol of, or, this blessing of coming joy, abundant life and hope. And that's kind of what Gandalf brought, just to stick with our Lord of the Rings, metaphor analogy, is just things weren't quite, like this fine wine, things weren't quite working out. And they had to find a solution that would bring the abundance and the joy that they knew that Middle Earth wanted to experience. So part of your gift is, bringing in that joy, that hope, or helping people go through that process, find the way through the process that will bring that joy and hope. So Etain is the second goddess, whose name literally means shining one, was a Celtic moon goddess, the second wife of Midir, king of the underworld. Midir's first wife, Fuanmach, was jealous of Etain and turned her into a fly. Falling into a glass of wine, Etain drowned. She was reborn and married Eochaid, a fertility god. Midir challenged Eochaid to a game of chess. The result was that Etain spends half of the year underground, half on earth. Both of these cards have to do with agriculture. Half of the year underground, half the year above earth is also a way to explain the seasons, above ground being spring, summer, below ground is kind of like fall, winter. Etain is especially a symbol of fertility, the vitality of life in all growing things. A goddess familiar with both life and death. She teaches that wherever we are on earth or in the depths of the underworld, we too can be shining. So understanding death and life in these readings always have to do with transformation. And transformation in the sense of taking the old and allowing it to become something new, brighter, and stronger. And with Attain here, we have a similar message of seasons, of connection to the earth, and earth being a strong energy of fertility. So with balanced life here, I feel like there's some longing here for more, for greater, for greatness, but understanding that part of your gift will be able to be unleashed the more you connect to earth energy, because that is a part of your leadership style. Your leadership style is very deeply connected to the power of Mother Earth. Love seeks your well-being, it says here under balanced life. And I feel like Mother Earth seeks your well-being. Mother Earth wants to bring you into an energy of healing and wholeness. So taking walks and connecting with earth energy could be beneficial to you for your own path, as well as to enhance your leadership style. Base chakra. Here we once again have this kind of connection to the earth, grounding, harmony, but it's also the Lover's card, so maybe decision making, deception, and envy. Third eye chakra, prosperity begins. Okay. I think it's interesting that he's holding a mask. Okay. So I feel like things may seem more bleak than they actually are. When you look at this progression, there's a higher perspective open to you. Perhaps with the mask here, things may seem bleak, and also even your perception of self. You may not see yourself as that wise wizard, as that leader, that guardian, that guide who's even able to see gifts within others. But the more you come into harmony with yourself and really make that decision to begin to see yourself for the truth of who you are. And I feel like with two goddesses that have to do with the underworld, some of you may be hiding. This is hermit energy. So some of you may be hiding, and it's time for your gift to blossom, to grow, to be seen. And what will help that happen is to connect more to the third eye energy, which is also about having a higher perspective. And as you have a higher perspective of self and a higher perspective of your life and your situation, prosperity can begin. Some of you may be coming out of periods of feeling exhausted, feeling tired, and may need to ground and to rest, because a new period of thriving is beginning. What can we release to help us to step into this gift? Helping people take off their mask and really live their authenticity. Because I feel like with this deception and envy, part of it is, when you think of Bilbo, who wasn't aware of his gift as an adventurer, his gift as a thief, but Gandalf helped him to see it. Nobody else saw it. Nobody. Nobody else saw it, but Gandalf saw it. And so you're the person who sees it and helps people come out of that deception, self-deception, and to see their power. They open up to a higher perspective. Look at that freedom. They open up to a higher perspective so that prosperity can begin. Humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. Envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. At the bottom, guilt. This envy card comes out a lot, and I think sometimes it just has to do with us feeling like other people have it easier. It seems to just be moving forward for other people. How do they have, 300,000 followers, or how was this person able to get that? I think a part of the energy, particularly with social media, it creates this kind of energy, not because we're even jealous of others or because we don't want others to succeed, but even more, I think more often this question comes up of why is it happening for them and not for me yet? And if it's happening for them and not for me, then I must be doing something wrong. And that's not the case. It's not always the case. We all have different paths, different journeys. We all have different divine timings that are working for us and through us. So as you release this energy of, others have it more of it seems to be working out better for others, or, um, you know, I seem to have more challenges than others, and embrace this energy of humor, the lighter side of life, the more this gift can come through. And I feel like what this card is saying is stop thinking that everyone else has the gift and you don't. And that's part of where the deception is coming from. You're far more powerful than you realize. So let's see what the animals want to tell us. Let's find out more about this prosperity. Organization, okay. Action. Protection. Community with the ant at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so patience and planning. It's time to get organized. And, sometimes we can become perfectionists when it comes to organization, but squirrels plan for the winter by burying seeds everywhere. They bury seeds and nuts all over the place. And then it's up to them to remember where they buried it so that they can go and get it in the winter. And the landscape is different in the winter. So it requires a different level of focus and remembering. So it may seem and feel chaotic, but they are quite able and capable of doing it. And so it's time for you, those of you who are wanting to be self-employed, don't wait. Go ahead and write that first draft of your business plan. Or those of you who are wanting to start new opportunities, new seminars, new workshops, perhaps there's a promotion that you're wanting within, your business, within your company. Get organized. Start having the conversations that are going to help bring the clarity, and then start taking action. Beavers have very long teeth, but the teeth continuously grow so that as they gnaw on wood, it's like a continual resource. And if they don't use their teeth to gnaw on wood, then the teeth continue to grow, and then the teeth become an obstruction. So it's time for you to accept this gift, get clear, and start taking action on your leadership ability, and to know that you're safe. You're safe in the process. Some of us, when we've experienced deception and envy, or negative experiences in past experiences of authority, then it can be difficult for us to step up into leadership positions. And some, even with this envy, it could be that, others even may be envious of your gift. And there's an opportunity to see that, with humor, see that in a way where you're not subjecting yourself to that energy because it's something that needs to be released, but understanding that it's because of the power of your gift that can be intimidating for others. I mean, look at the rhinoceros. Look at how intimidating that looks, but he's also a symbol of ancient wisdom. So know that you're safe and protected. You have the gifts that you need. Just start getting clear on what is the goal, and then the steps you're going to take to move towards that goal, and then take action. Even if the goal is more self-care, living more authentically, whatever the goal is, Have that goal as a title, and then start thinking of steps you're going to take that will help you to achieve that goal. And then commit. Commitment is an incredibly important value to have. Commit to that goal and move forward. So, what is an encouraging message for us? Stand still for now and listen to your life. So, one of the first steps is standing still. Spread your creative wings and take flight. You are truly beautiful on the inside and outside. So don't worry about these cards. Like sometimes people freak out when envy comes up or blame or things like that. But this is just saying, don't worry about what's going on in other people's lives, and don't worry about whether other people are worried about what's going on in your life. Move forward. Know that you're beautiful inside and out. You are incredibly powerful. You've got that Merlin Gandalf kind of energy, that ability to create magic. The first step is going to be standing still. And the lotus is a representation for the chakras. So this may include self-nourishment, taking care of your mental body, your emotional body, as well as your physical body, and then being creative and taking flight, taking action. So standing still, getting clear on the goal, and then taking action and take flight. And as you take flight, know that you are protected. Thank you, pile number 4. It was such an honor to read for you, dear powerful soul. And if you like this reading, then I would so much appreciate a thumbs up as well as a subscribe. And if you have perhaps someone in your soul family who needs regular courage, upliftment, and you want them to be able to see their gifts within, then I'd appreciate a recommendation of this channel. I hope to have the honor of reading for you again soon. I'm sending so much love.